Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? Happy Monday. Hello, Kathy, Alberts, and Carrie. You were first again today. Congrats, as always. Hello, Blue. Hope you're doing well. Hello to see Kathy, Angie, and a lot of the YouTubers are up early this morning. Hope you guys had a good weekend. 35 there in Cary, where Carrie's at. 35 degrees. That was a common number, by the way, that we had across wave country during the late night, early morning hours. Is the coolest, actually, or coldest that I was able to track anyway on the official sensors that we were able to gather in central Kentucky. About 35 into Taylor County, actually. I'll show you the map where we're at now. But here in Louisville, we dropped to 45 officially. We're going to get colder later this week. All right, let's get right to it as we do have a little bit of patchy frost this morning. Better chance for frost, widespread frost, the kind of thick frost that you would think you would see this time of year. We will likely get that later this week. So there is a chance we may actually see the end to the growing season in some areas later this week. Probably not in the city, but in outlying areas, I do think that will be possible. So that's a plus. You don't have to worry about as much mowing or the grass getting taller anymore. And bad news for your annuals. I hope that they made it through the drought. But if they did, this is probably going to do them in. If it didn't this morning, it likely will later this week. But better than anything, and I'm excited about it, the ragweed's going to go away because it's killing me. So I apologize in advance. I think it's killing all of us here on the weather team lately. But anyway, at least that's something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to that personally. All right, beautiful outside right now, New Albany. We've had a little bit of that river fog this morning. Typically, you see that when you get some colder temperatures and the water is warmer than surrounding area. You tend to get more river fog, and that will likely be the case again later this week. Current number in Louisville, 48. Got 48 in central Kentucky, several 46s, E-Town, Shelbyville, and some 45s there in Indiana, 43 into Tell City. If you had frost, type it out in the chat so I know. I know we had several reports of that. North Vernon there from Kelly coming in. I saw somebody else mentioning frost. Where was it at? It's patchy frost in Elizabeth, Indiana from Brad. So, yeah, I mean, there are some areas that had that this morning. 36, again, as I always say, is about the magic number. Once you get to 36 on your home thermometer or lower, you should start to see some frost form on your car outside. All right, we've got these beautiful temperatures in the area today. We're going to hold on to this for the rest of the afternoon. Very pleasant afternoon, in fact, as we evolve to the afternoon hours. Here's an update on the rain that we had over the weekend with the wind and, hard to say, thunderstorms. We had some wind surges. Louisville gust of 41 was our highest gust. Several gusts above 30 that took place over about an 18-hour window, though, for the area. Some of the higher winds around 66 miles per hour as you venture a little more up the 71 corridor, getting closer to Cincinnati. And same story back to the west. We had some strong wind gusts that were approaching our western counties. And that was the second wave Sunday morning that rolled in, had some stronger winds with that and a little bit of wind damage, trees being knocked down as well. But overall, fairly minor system, right? So if you got through it with your Halloween decor, then you'll be in good shape with the wind coming in tomorrow. We do not expect the wind to get overly strong tomorrow. So right now there's no alert there or anything like that. I think it'll stay on the lower end of the scale and no thunderstorms. So that is also a big plus. I'll walk you through that in a second. Right now we got beautiful skies overhead, clear as a bell across wave country. A lot of sun today. It's going to be comfortable, well into the 60s for high temperatures. Here's a really wide view, just to give you an idea of fairly quiet across the southern part of the country. Now this front came through. It's not going to last very long, but we got it for now. And then I want to draw your attention down here to what will soon be Melissa, our tropical storm that will be forming in the Eastern Caribbean. Problem with Melissa, with several series of low pressures moving in and a blocking high, it's forming here into the northern Atlantic. Melissa's got to make a decision here soon. Either go sharply to the north and east or keep going west toward the Yucatan. We don't know which way, and it's not exactly 50-50, but it's fairly close. It's fairly close to a 50-50 split on the data coming in on what Melissa will do. As always, it's tough to get that part of the forecast nailed down. We should in the next 24 hours, so stay tuned. But it may get named today. Wouldn't surprise me. But either way, that's the two splits. There is no track right now that I see that goes like directly into Florida. It's pretty much a hard right or a hard left that it'll have to make. So it's just a matter of when. So we'll keep you updated on that for any vacation interest. And eventually, it does have some down the stream impacts on our weather when it comes to adding, especially if it tracks north. It can cause a lot of wildness with a yin-yang effect. Not as dramatic because it will likely stay in the southern Atlantic, but still it can cause some downstream effects for our low pressures here into the lower 48. And the Euro likes that idea of bringing Melissa right. So I'm going to show you the Euro, and you'll see some of the result of that, of everything kind of blocking up here as we head into Halloween. But the more progressive idea, more to the west, may not have as much of an impact on the upper air pattern, and that may change things toward Halloween, a little faster flow. So we'll see. Stay tuned. All right, so let's get into our next setup. This is a low pressure into the Minnesota area, into northern Dakota, North Dakota, one of the Dakotas. We got some rain and low pressure moving on by. This one's got a kick to it. I mean, but it's right on the heels as we expected it to be out of the weekend system. So there's not much of a gap here. So it doesn't have enough time to scoop up as much rain. That's a good thing. There is some rain showing up on the southern end of that. So we are going to add a rain chance already in the forecast, actually, for later tonight and early tomorrow morning, and perhaps again tomorrow afternoon. I'll show you why in a second on that. But in general, rain is not going to be the big story with this low. The big story with this, two issues. One, as it rolls in tonight, you will notice temperatures fall this evening, but actually will rise into the upper 50s, maybe even touching 60 by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. So will you need the coat tomorrow morning? Will you have to worry about frost tomorrow morning? No, it will be much different outside when you walk out tomorrow morning. So the low pressure is helping that. It's pumping in just enough warm air to allow for a comfortable morning. Now, the rest of the day will be indeed windy, and temperatures may struggle. They're not going to move a whole lot from where they are in the morning hours, but there'll be a bit of a jump depending on how much sun you get later into the day. Otherwise, that's it. The system will be out of here by the time we head into Tuesday night, and we're in for just chilly air. That's the big headline for the rest of the week as we evolve into Thursday and Friday, especially. So let me show you the in-house model, the graph here, where we get into tonight and tomorrow. You'll see the low pressure begin to move in. It will not get here by sunset, so we should have a lot of sun today. Beautiful blue skies all day long. Again, we drop this evening down into some areas. We'll drop into the 40s by midnight, otherwise lower 50s. But remember, the wind surge ahead of the front, fairly strong from areas of the Cape Girardeau area all the way into the Wabash. So you'll see the numbers actually go up as we head towards sunrise. The graph takes us to 59. Totally fair. I think that's possible as we head into early tomorrow morning with a cloudier start to the day. May have some breaks in that. Shower chance a little higher for Indiana and the 71 corridor because the moisture is going to be higher, closer to the big red L, the spin of the low pressure. The further you are away from it, your rain chance drops off fairly significantly. So as you travel to the south and west. So Louisville is going to be right on the edge of a lower end rain chance. And if you're down across Grayson County, down toward Hart County, Greene, Taylor, even lower of a rain chance for you at barely at 10% if you can even get that. So this is not a big ordeal on rain. It's just a quick little round of a few showers. Barely a few hundredths of an inch actually will be measured out of it if you even got it. Otherwise, the wind will ramp up during the day tomorrow. And I don't know why the numbers go out here, but the outage this morning has been interesting. So some of our data is a little choppy, so I apologize just because if you haven't heard about the outage, I'm sure you will. If you looked at social media, you'll find it real quick, that headline today. But in general, we'll get a windier setup. Now, the clouds do try to wrap back in tomorrow afternoon. This is what I don't know how this is going to play out for Indiana and the 71 corridor. There is a chance you may become become mostly cloudy in the afternoon. So your numbers really will be a lot cooler than the rest of us. So I'm watching that trend. It's iffy on how much clouds can reach you as it curls back around again into the late afternoon. Otherwise, where you have a partly sunny sky, especially if you have a few clouds, if you're full on sun, yeah, it'll be breezy outside, but not overly windy. But if you're partly cloudy, right on the edge of that cloud shield, that's where your strongest of winds will likely be. And when I say strong, I'm talking about 30, maybe up to 35 miles per hour in a few cases for tomorrow, but below advisory levels. So right now, if we did get close to it, it would be just a minor surge, maybe briefly up to upper 30s to near 40. I can't rule that out, but I think it's not going to be frequent enough really for an advisory, and I don't think it's going to be frequent enough, certainly on our conditions for an alert day. All right, so breezy, but not overly strong. Good enough, right? All right, so then we head into tomorrow night. We clear the sky out, and we begin to chill down as we head into your Thursday morning. More than likely, the wind still may be an issue Thursday to keep us from getting too low on numbers. That's why we're not talking about a lot of frost issues yet into Thursday morning, but or into Wednesday morning, excuse me, because of that. Otherwise, temperatures do cool down because of the backlash of all these low pressures moving on by. We get some chilly air that settles right into the Ohio Valley. Before I get to long term, everyone good on that? We'll get into the frost outlook too in the longer term here in just a second for the rest of this week, but I want to at least give you a snapshot of what looks like on frost. Hey, Les, we picked up just shy of an inch there into Covington, Northern Kentucky. Max gets to 40, down to 38 this morning. All right, appreciate it. Wayne's excited. I know you are, Wayne. Get ready. It won't be long. It won't be long. Everyone else all good, I think. Did we beat down the drought? Yes, I didn't get a chance to cover it, but the drought map is fairly cleared out. So there's not much to talk about on the drought map anymore. So I like that. And now that we're about to end the growing season, it matters even less because it's mainly for vegetation that the drought matters. A lot of people carry a tracker on that. A lot of farmers do. But once you get into the winter months, it doesn't matter as much. When do they bring on mango tree? I don't know. That's a good question, Carrie. I'm assuming you would have to already. If you got down to 35, my plants, especially any type of tropical type plants, do not do well below 55. Usually about below 55, they start to, they can show damage if I don't get them in quickly. So I've already brought mine in. So if you haven't brought that in yet, you probably need to. Yeah, Carrie goes, uh-oh. Yeah, you may want to check it. I mean, you'll see some leaves fall off. I don't think it's going to die. You just lose some of the foliage on it. May begin to fall or turn yellow, but get it in. We didn't lose a lot of leaves yet. Well, okay, that's good. You're at least hold on to some fall color. I mean, the fall color is going to be peaking in about a week. I know. I've been looking as I've been driving around town, and it's just not a very impressive show this year, right? It's like, it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, we could do better, but the drought, no doubt, just took a lot of the fun out. We're hoping those little rain events we had would make a difference, but we didn't get them in August when the tree kind of loads up to prepare for fall. And so September wasn't strong enough, and October certainly was not, to make a huge dent on that to salvage the fall color. But still, in the next week, some trees will look, maples especially, they tend to show the reds. Red, I think, will be number one. Not as many yellows this year, but I think we'll have a lot of reds this year because of the sugars, the way they are with these sunny days. All right, let's get into the longer term here. We talked about the cooler air that'll flow in for later this week. I'll show you the frost outlook on that in just a second. We get into the weekend. Okay, the weekend's going to be a little tough. I think initially it's going to be hard to get rain in the area. Air is going to be too dry. But as we saturate further into the weekend, almost a similar setup that we had this weekend, but without the 80s being involved, that rain will take a bit of time to build up. But you can see that trying to build up as we head into late Saturday into Sunday. This is going to be a chilly rain too, by the way, that moves in. So, yeah, there is a chance that Sunday could just be a yucky day with showers. Temperatures likely in the 50s, more than likely with the rain. Then we get into a questionable issue here for Halloween week. We know we've got the Halloween low pressure. That's been in the outlook for a while. But the Euro especially brings it in a very quiet way and then ramps it up over us. The GFS is a little slower with that, a little more of a dig as we head into Halloween week. Either way, we would likely get some rain and some thunderstorms. Maybe next Tuesday, about a week from today, next Monday, Tuesday, we could get some thunderstorms on the leading edge of that. It's not going to be overly warm. It may get close to 70. That can be enough to get some strong storms, but very iffy setup right now. So I don't want to play that up until we get more data on it, so we'll leave that alone. Otherwise, the bigger story is going to be the wind. Yes, another round of wind for the middle of next week. And then where does the upper low portion of this go? Where does it settle? Because this map ends right here on the day before Halloween on the Euro. But if I were to advance it, it would bring the rain right over us for Halloween with temperatures in the 40s. This is going to be a setup that could produce sleet, to be honest with you. So it could be a little interesting for Halloween if, again, Melissa takes that track and we still have the block here in the Atlantic, then this low will likely sink south and drift over us for Halloween. If it's more of a progressive flow and Melissa goes the other way, this low pressure has a better chance to head a little more north and east out of our hair. Still would be cool. I would say we would trade out showers in 40s with a clear sky and temperatures in the 50s. So either way, there's nothing that screams warm weather for Halloween. Right now, everything screams cooler and chilly air. So we'll see. It's way early. It's 11 days out, something like that. Yeah. So we got plenty of time for this to evolve and change, especially when you get into cutoff lows. That really changes drastically on that looks, but I know you're going to ask, so that's where we stand now. All right, let's get into the frost setup real quick. Thursday morning again, one of the mornings we'll be watching for a little more of a widespread frost. I think this is going to be prompting a frost advisory for much of the area. The problem is going to be the Louisville area may not see as much, but you can't really issue an advisory and then have a little bit of a donut hole in the middle. They should. I mean, technically, if you want to be accurate, I guess it's how it would look. But in this case, it will likely be all filled in, and they'll fill in Louisville too. But just letting you know, Jefferson County, it depends on where you're at. Closer to the Watterson, you may not have as much. If you're closer to the Snyder, you probably will. All right, but that is not the coolest. The coldest, I should say, really, is going to be as we head into Friday morning. And this for Louisville, I think, has a better chance to drop into the 30s. I think we have a better chance to get a frost in Jefferson County and a better chance for a light freeze for all these areas surrounding Jefferson County. So it's going to be tough. It could be a borderline freeze advisory and a frost one, kind of back and forth. Both of them could be at play. But again, Thursday and Friday mornings, 2 mornings this week we're watching. Friday will be the coldest. Fair enough? Let's get right into 10-day. Let me show you that, and then I'll get out of your hair for the day. Beautiful again, a lot of sunshine today. A bit windy tomorrow, especially early on in the day into about mid-afternoon. On the edge of the partly cloudy sky, temperatures generally into the 60s overall. And as we head into Thursday and Friday, not a bad setup, just chilly mornings, of course. And then the weekend, weekend's going to be could be a little wet and chilly. These numbers could trend downward, by the way, in future updates before we go back up again before the Halloween low moves in. And you see just a very hint of the backlash of the low pressure for the day before, a couple days before Halloween, while highs in the 50s. All right. Don't forget the Halloween forecast is Halloween night. I will be live the next morning to talk with you guys on the 1st of November. So it's kind of a two-pronged ordeal. You will get the data more than likely Halloween night, but you will get the science of it all and what came into consideration for it all the day after. And I'm still working on it. It's not the data that I need is just not coming in, and these outages they're not helping. There's other outages too with the impacting part from the shutdown right now, the government shutdown. So there's some data I'm missing that I can't get, which is a little frustrating. So I'm kind of having to go around the loop here on getting data, but I'm working on it. I will find a way. Wayne, I'm loving that I have a very weak La Nina. Stay tuned, Wayne. We'll talk about it. Austin bots bring on the snow. Did you guys know? I don't know if you did know. Bots started here. I started saying it. I don't know how many years. Has it been 15 years? Nearly 15 years ago, I started saying it for an acronym for bringing on the snow, and now I see bots everywhere. I feel like it's across the country. Is that hashtag? So, and it's really thanks to you guys. You guys have caused this trend bots to go nationwide. Should have trademarked it, right? And put it on a t-shirt. Okay, there you go, guys. We'll leave it at that for now, and we'll come back into the discussion tomorrow. And we'll talk about the wind speeds tomorrow and a little more on the frost update. I'll give you an update on the Halloween outlook. And tomorrow, Cameron, I hope you're watching. Tomorrow will be an update on the Matrix.